Chandran, Nair, what I hear there from Mr. Rajan is an effort to define a middle ground, still embracing free market ideology, but tempering it with, you know, some new adaptations and controls to accept some of your points about sustainability. Do you buy that as a viable third way?
I teach at a business school. I work with some of the largest companies in the world. I haven't come to the point I am at the moment with the views that I've expressed in my book through, you know, sort of an NGO activism sort of a way of thinking. I've seen the front end of where this happens. The problem is, and Dr. Rajan is absolutely right, we should start to price externalities probably. None of this is
put a real price on carbon, for example.
Well, carbon is just one part of externalities, and you can price
but let's
carbon.
not use the jargon. Let's be clear about this for our audience around the world. You, for example, do believe that carbon taxes have to be much, much higher.
Much higher, but I also think I come from my basic training is in pollution engineering, and one of the first things you learn about pollution engineering is you start to stop things before it gets into the pipe. So, you know, treating the symptoms, which is what the economic instruments or emissions trading, etc., doesn't really deal with the need to reduce emissions. And this is why I talk about the political nature of our challenge in the 21st century. We have to constrain things.
Yeah, you do.
And you need strong governments, which flies in the face of...
What you seem to think we need is authoritarian government.
No, I don't say authoritarian. I say we do need strong governments. If you look at what's happening in the US, President Obama, with all the goodwill in the world, has not been able to do anything about carbon. And when I speak in the US about the nature of the climate change issues, etc., and, you know, the earnest people who come and listen, and I start talking about them taking action, and perhaps the need for, you know, slightly playing on the one-child policy, the one-car policy, they all can't. But you have to have restrictions.
You're saying then governments should intrude in people's lives. They should restrict the amount of cars they can own, maybe whether they can own a car at all.
Absolutely.
They should restrict the access to meat, for example, because you're very
They should price it properly, at least.
Well, yeah, but you'd probably go further in the end, wouldn't you? If meat was still being consumed in a way that you felt was unsustainable.
No, not at all. I have no qualms about people consuming meat, but consuming meat, which is the most unproductive, meat is one of the most unproductive ways of creating food. Well, let's price it properly. You know, it's water intensive, it's carbon intensive. And, you know, there are economists, and maybe Dr. Rajan should have a few PhDs done on what would be a true price of a Mac burger. The suggestion is, I argue, it would be about $100.
The problem, however,